Best of r/am I the asshole, hope you enjoy. Am I the asshole for occasionally glancing at my neighbor's windows when she didn't put up any curtains? I, 38 male, live in a terraced house, converted into 4 flats. The bottom flat is mine, it's the largest and it's the only one that has an access to the garden. If you sit at the back of my garden you can see inside the first floor flat, though they're windows. My first floor neighbor is Natalia, 33 female. I'll admit that she's gorgeous and on top of that she's intelligent. She's a translator and I can hear her speaking on the phone and I could listen to her switch between 3 languages all day. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't attracted to her. I've never had the courage to ask her out though. But that's not the reason why I occasionally glance at her windows. When you sit in my garden, you can see directly inside her flat. She has curtains in her windows on the other side of the building, looking out the street, but I guess she forgot to put them on the side of the garden. Anyway, I am a smoker, so whenever I sit down to have a smoke I entertain myself by looking up. I can see whatever she's doing and I find it fascinating. I can see who she is as a person and admittedly she's fascinating and very different to all the other women I know. I mean the fact that she doesn't watch Love Island was a great start. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a creepy prepping Tom, she's not changing in front of the windows or anything but I have seen her in her PJs which kind of makes her more human to me. I kind of thought she was a bit frigid and robotic at first. And I'm getting more courage to ask her out. Honestly, I don't think you can just go up to a beautiful and smart woman and seeing those little glimpses of her private life makes it easier. Anyway, I digress. I had some mates over the other day and we were sitting in the garden smoking. It was 3 guys, a female friend and me. And Natalia came back home and was doing stuff and they saw me looking up her windows. My mates joked around but weren't really against it, just made fun of me. Banter, really. My female friend told me it was creepy that I put those chairs there on purpose and could easily move them so as to not stare into her windows. I told her that she's just jealous cause no one is looking into her windows and she told me I was a creep and went back inside telling all her female friends. It was my birthday party and I had plenty of friends and friends of friends over. When I got back, my mates were taking the piss, but some females there were a bit funny and sided with her. I told her to leave and not come back because I'm not a creep and it's shitty of her to say that I am. She called me an asshole, took her things and left, but she made Facebook posts about me, calling me all sorts and making sure everyone I know hears about this. Now I'm confused, my mates agree with me but some people under her posts agree with her. Am I the asshole here? Am I the asshole for firing my brother and kicking him out and back to our parents' house? I took in my brother when he dropped out of university because he wasn't enjoying it. Our parents had made it obvious to him that if he was living there he would be expected to pay rent. My partner and I live in a fixer-upper we bought in an auction. It needs a lot of work. So I agreed that my brother could live with us as long as he did yard work and helped us fix up the house. He has been pretty good about it. He has been a huge help with some of the projects. He is really good at a lot of the stuff that isn't in our wheelhouse. Last week, though, he started saying that we should be paying him for all his work. We sat down with him and explained that he was getting a free place to stay and free food in return for about 20 hours of work a week. He said that we would be paying a contractor more. I asked him what was going on. He said that he wanted money to go out and do stuff. We told him to get a job. It turns out he was whining to our parents that we were taking advantage of him. It was our mom that convinced him that we were not giving him enough in return for his work. So we told him to pack his stuff and go back to my parents' place. We dropped him off with all his belongings and now he is their problem. He phoned us to complain because our parents do not have fiber optic internet and he is expected to pay rent, so now he has to get a job. I feel bad for him, but I think he had it pretty good here. A free room, free food, and free utilities. He wants to come back, but most of the projects we needed him for are completed now. My partner and I can complete the rest without him and we like having the house to ourselves again. Am I the asshole for leaving my son's wedding after he denied his stepmom a mother-son dance? Asshole. My son Jordan is 27. His stepmom Natalie came into his life when he was 16. His mom had passed away when he was 13. Jordan never really considered Natalie as his mom. He refused to let her get close and shut down every attempt to have a close relationship. He even moved in with his aunt months after Natalie and I got married. As years went by, they started reconciling and seeing each other more often. He invited us to his wedding, which took place days ago. We got there and the atmosphere was great, until later when I found out that Jordan had denied Natalie a mother-son dance and instead chose his aunt to dance with him. Natalie told me this minutes later and I couldn't help feeling irritated and quite upset. I decided to get up and leave and we both left. I got calls from my family after they saw me leave. And Jordan called later and I told him why I did it. He got mad and said it was his wedding and that his aunt is basically a mother to him and said that Natalie shouldn't expect special treatment. I said it's not special treatment but a tradition. Besides that, he hurt her feelings for no reason other than for the sake of being malicious. He got offended and accused me of ruining his day and causing a scene. Now the family sided with him and said I shouldn't have left no matter what. I'm a 40-year-old man and my girlfriend of a year is 38. She has a daughter from a previous partner who is 14 and a freshman in high school. I went over there yesterday to find my girlfriend crying. I tried to figure out what was going on and where I could help when she told me she was crying about her daughter and how she is doing in school. I love her daughter. She is the sweetest girl ever. I wish my daughters were as well behaved as her. I have to describe her daughter. She has a nice friend group, does not have trouble with bullies, and generally seems very happy. I bet you're wondering why her mother would be crying if this was the case. Her mother/my girlfriend was crying because her daughter is not the popular athlete cheerleader homecoming queen that she was in school. Her daughter marches to the beat of her own drum, which I think is the best anyone can hope for. Yes, she's a little bit dorky. But her own mother referred to her as a loser during this crying fit. She's very into anime. Her and some friends actually started an anime club at their school, Pokemon and video games. Most of her wardrobe is black t-shirts with anime or video game characters on them. Again, she's a happy kid. She's got her social circle who all have similar interests. It's just not the circle her mom wishes she was in. Here are some quotes from her during this that turned me red. I never would have imagined my daughter would be a dweeb. She needs to grow out of this before college, and my personal favorite, I wouldn't have been caught dead with kids that look like that. I called her disgusting and told her she should be ashamed of herself. I said her daughter is happy and how she would feel to hear her mom crying about her perceived popularity. I told her how lucky she is that her daughter doesn't deal with a lot of the issues kids have these days. This ends with her being upset with me because instead of consoling her when she was crying, I called her names. I don't think crying means anything. She was saying horrible things. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that she needs to learn when to shut the fuck up? I, 24 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 23 female, for about 5 months. Every other month, my grandmother hosts a large family dinner with all my close relatives. She encouraged me to invite my girlfriend over for dinner yesterday. For some context, my entire family and I are black, and my girlfriend is from a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family. I was at the dinner yesterday, and I went to hang out with my niece, F7, who I'm very fond of, and the rest of the kids to play Monopoly. My girlfriend tagged along. My niece was counting the play money to pass out to everyone, and one of the other kids said something about how he wanted to be rich and get all the $500 bills. My niece, out of nowhere, blurted out that she couldn't be rich because she's an N-word. I was totally taken aback and asked her who told her that. Apparently, some bully at school said that to her on career day when they were sharing dream jobs, and she said she wanted to be a rich president. I told her that that wasn't true at all, and hugged her, and she started crying. Then, my girlfriend jumped in and told my niece that it's really important to forgive the boy who said that because he probably wasn't trying to be mean and was just confused. I was totally shocked and told her she needs to stop trying to justify what happened. She then tried to hush me and started baby-talking my niece and said that she should also try to be nicer to all the kids at school, because kindness goes both ways. I was totally livid at this point and pulled my girlfriend aside and quietly but angrily told her she needs to learn when to shut the fuck up. She started getting riled up at me and started rambling about how statistics are on her side. What the hell she meant. I wasn't really processing what she was saying, but I told her to get out of my grandma's home and just leave already. She drove me here in her car, and I was planning to hitch a ride home with my brother. This morning, I got multiple calls from my girlfriend's sisters calling me an abusive and shitty prick. I know my words were harsh, but I thought my girlfriend was talking in a disgusting manner to my niece. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for high-fiving a stranger who humiliated my BF? My BF and I go to the climbing gym regularly. He is really into it, and I just started climbing a few times a week. He's stupidly competitive about it and quietly insults beginners who are not as good, which makes me feel self-conscious because I'm a beginner. Last night we were at the climbing gym again and he was doing a V6. There were about 6 people taking turns on the problem, probably because it's a newly installed route, and they were all failing. Then a girl came and flashed it. She made it so easy, but at the end she didn't hold the final hold for 5 seconds and my BF called her out after she was done. Holding the last hold for 5 seconds is supposed to be the right way of finishing a route, but she was doing it so easily she definitely could have. I think he was just being salty because she did it when he couldn't. She laughed and told him he didn't even start the problem correctly and walked off. I gave her a high five because she was walking towards me and did amazing at the problem and knocked my BF off his high horse, and she was surprised but high-fived me. My BF turned to me and gave me a WTF look and wouldn't talk to me the rest of the night. When we were heading home, he ranted that I couldn't be trusted to watch his back if I chose to take a stranger's side over him. I was shocked that's what he took from the climb and told him she shouldn't have nitpicked her when she clearly climbed it correctly, and he got mad and argued I was supposed to take his side over people I don't even know. Am I the asshole for leaving my girlfriend and kicking her out of the house after catching her cheating? I can still remember the moment vividly. I had come home early from work, and as I walked through the door, I heard a strange noise coming from our bedroom. When I pushed the door open, I saw my partner in bed with someone else. I was shocked, hurt, and angry all at once. I confronted her, and at first, she tried to deny it. But as the truth started to come out, I could see the guilt and shame in her eyes. It was then that I realized that our relationship was built on lies and that she didn't truly love me. At that moment, I just snapped. I started yelling, throwing things, and making a scene. I was so hurt and so betrayed that I couldn't control my emotions. I knew that I was making a fool of myself, but I couldn't help it. I just needed to let out all of the pain and anger that I was feeling. In the end, my partner tried to apologize and make things right, but it was too late. The trust was gone, and I couldn't imagine ever being with her again. I kicked them out, feeling broken and alone, but also a little bit relieved. Now, I'm trying to pick up the pieces and move on. It's not easy, but I know that I deserve better. I deserve someone who will treat me with the love and respect that I deserve. And as I look back on what happened, I realized that maybe catching her cheating was the best thing that could have happened to me. It may have been a painful experience, but it has also opened my eyes to what I really want in a relationship. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for future videos just like this.